Hello everyone, in this video, we will go through the real exam practice questions, which are related to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Foundation Associate 2021. Also, we will explain these questions in easy way, so you can remember the answer for longer time. It will help you to learn quickly and pass this exam very confidently. So let's get started. Let's talk about this question. You are configuring a 2-node Oracle Real Application Cluster, RAC, DB system for high availability. These instances need near zero latency for inter-instance communication. What is the correct configuration for this scenario? Options we have for this question are configure instances inside single VCN using multiple availability domains. Configure instances across multiple availability domains. Configure instances across multiple fault domains. Configure instances across multiple regions. Correct answer for this question is option 3, configure instances across multiple fault domains because it is advised to configure real-time application cluster known as RAC in a single physical data center, which is availability domain in OC. That's why we need to configure instances across multiple fault domains. Let's talk about this question. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, service can be configured to send you an alert for high CPU usage? Options we have for this question are Analytics, Events, Logging, Logging Analytics, Monitoring. Solution. Correct answer for this question is option 5, monitoring, because monitoring service uses metrics to monitor resources and alarms to notify you when these metrics meet alarm specified triggers. Let's talk about this question. Which capability enables you to search, purchase, and start using software in your Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, tenancy? Options we have for this question are Marketplace, Resource Manager, OS, Management, Container Registry. Correct answer for this question is option 1, Marketplace, because from Oracle Marketplace we can search, purchase and use third-party software as per our need to run our business. Let's talk about this question. What two types of encryption keys are recognized by the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Vault service? Options we have for this question are data encryption keys, auth tokens, alias keys, wrapper keys, master encryption keys. Correct answer for this question are option 1, data encryption keys, and option 5, master encryption keys, which are known as DEC and MEC in short, which is supported by OC, Vault service. Let's talk about this question. Which security issue cannot be identified using Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, vulnerability scanning service? Options we have for this question are ports that are unintentionally left open, OS packages that require updates and patches to address vulnerabilities, cross-site scripting, XSS, OS configurations that hackers might exploit. Correct answer for this question is option 3, cross-site scripting, known as XSS, because it can be handled by Web Application Firewall. Let's talk about this question. Which is not a valid compute shape option within the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, compute service? Options we have for this question are virtual machine, container instance, dedicated virtual machine host, bare metal. Correct answer for this question is option 2, container instance, because for remaining option we have the compute shapes available. Let's talk about this question. Which 3 statements correctly describe attributes of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, compartments? Options we have for this question are your tenancy by default comes with a root compartment. Compartments can have subcompartments. Compartments can be used to logically separate, OC, resources. Compartments can be used to physically separate, OC, resources. Resources within one compartment cannot interact with resources in other compartments. Correct answer for this question are option 1. Your tenancy by default comes with a root compartment, option 2. Compartments can have subcompartments, and option 3. Compartments can be used to logically separate, OC, resources. Remaining options are not correctly describing the OC compartments. Let's talk about this question. Which key encryption algorithm is not supported by the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Vault service? Options we have for this question are JSON Web Algorithm, JWA. Elliptic Curve Digital Signature Algorithm, EXA. Advanced Encryption Standard, AES. Rivest-Shamir-Adleman, RSA. Correct answer for this question is option 1. JSON Web Algorithm known as JWA and REST algorithm mentioned are supported by OC, Vault service. Let's talk about this question. Your client needs to move their extract transform load, ETL, process to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC. They want to take a no-code approach. Which OC service should you recommend? Options we have for this question are Data Catalog, Data Integration, Data Science, Analytics Cloud. Correct answer for this question is option 2, Data Integration, because whenever we will talk about ETL process, it will come under data integration. Let's talk about this question. Which two statements correctly describe the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Accelerated Data Science, SDK? Options we have for this question are, it is an additional cost to the data science service. It is included as part of the data science service. It is a Python library that makes common tasks faster, easier, and less error-prone. It is a JavaScript library that makes common tasks faster, easier, and less error-prone. It is a PHP library that makes common tasks faster, easier, and less error-prone. Correct answer for this question is option 2, it is included as part of the data science service, and option 3, which is it is a Python library that makes common tasks faster, easier, and less error-prone. Let's talk about this question. You want to edit a compute instance in a running state to support changes in your application workload. Which parameter is not modifiable? Options we have for this question are, primary private IP address, fault domain, amount of memory, number of OCPU, S. Correct answer for this question is option 1, primary private IP address. That is the only option given which we can't be modified when compute instance is running. Let's talk about this question. Which statement is valid for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Container Registry, OCIR? Options we have for this question are, you can create only private Docker repositories in OCIR. A single registry can only contain either private or public Docker repositories. You can create only public Docker repositories in OCIR. A single registry can contain both private and public Docker repositories. Correct answer for this question is option 4, a single registry can contain both private and public Docker repositories, because repositories can be either public or private but can't be both. But these both type of repositories can be inside single registry. Let's talk about this question. Which statement accurately describes an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure region? Options we have for this question are, each availability domain has 3 fault domains. Each region has a single fault domain. Each availability domain has a single fault domain. Each fault domain has multiple availability domains. Correct answer for this question is option 1, each availability domain has 3 fault domains, and other mentioned options are wrong in terms of OC architecture. Let's talk about this question. You store multiple versions of objects in a bucket, but your IT team has asked you to delete any previous object versions 120 days after the object version transitions from the latest version to a previous version. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, object storage feature can be used for this purpose? Options we have for this question are, pre-authenticated requests, retention rules, object lifecycle management, multi-part uploads. Correct answer for this question is option 3, Object Lifecycle Management, because Object Lifecycle Management works by taking automated action based on rules that you define. Let's talk about this question. Which two statements correctly describe Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Service Level Agreements? Options we have for this question are financially backed commitment to provide a minimum level of service to customers, defined as a number of nines for a month and a percentage credit, defined as a number of nines for a week and a percentage credit, defined as a number of eights for a week and a percentage credit. Financially backed commitment to provide a maximum level of service to customers, defined as a number of eights for a month and a percentage credit. Correct answer for this question are option 2, defined as a number of nines for a month and a percentage credit, and option financially backed commitment to provide a maximum level of service to customers, because these are direct information, there is no logic behind it. You can also go through the same through, OC, SLA. Let's talk about this question, which is not a valid statement regarding Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, compartments. Options we have for this question are, compartments are restricted to a single region. Each resource belongs to a single compartment. You can give group of users access to compartments by writing policies. Resources can interact with other resources in different compartments. Correct answer for this question is option 1, compartments are restricted to a single region, because compartments are tenancy-wide, across regions. When you create a compartment, it is available in every region that your tenancy is subscribed to. Let's talk about this question. A customer wants to use Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, for storing application backups which can be stored for months, but retrieved immediately based on business needs. Which, OC, storage service can be used to meet this requirement? Options we have for this question are, archive storage, block volume, file storage, object storage, standard. Correct answer for this question is option 4, object storage standard, because object storage we can use it for storing application backups and able retrieve immediately as per need. Let's talk about this question. Which three statements are correct about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure compartments? Options we have for this question are, compartments can have subcompartments. Each compartment is local to a region. Compartments can be nested. Compartments are logical entities. Compartments can be used for authentication services. Resources inside the compartments cannot be moved to another compartment. Correct answer for this question are option 1, compartments can have subcompartments. Yes, because we can have subcompartments up to 6 level. Option 3, compartment can be nested. As already mentioned, we can have compartment nested up to 6 level. And option 4, compartments are logical entities, because compartments are logical entities to manage resources. Let's talk about this question. Which Oracle offering lets a customer provision Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, services into their own data centers in a self-contained model, achieving the same architecture, billing, and operational processes of the OC public cloud? Options we have for this question are, Oracle Cloud VMware Solution, OC dedicated region, OC private region, OC customer region. Correct answer for this question is option 2, OC dedicated region, because it is the only feature through which we can have the same capability as OC in our own data centers. Let's talk about this question. Which feature is not a component of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Identity and Access Management Service? Options we have for this question are, Federation, Policies, Network Security Group, User Credentials. Correct answer for this question is option 3, Network Security Group, because it is a component of networking services. Let's talk about this question. How will you configure high availability for an application in an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure region with a single availability domain? Options we have for this question are, set up your application across multiple virtual cloud network, VCN. Divide region into multiple subregions. Set up your application across multiple compartments. Set up your application across multiple fault domains. Correct answer for this question is set up your application across multiple fault domains, because if we want to configure high availability for an application in an OC region with single AD, then it need to set up your application across multiple fault domains within availability. Let's talk about this question. A banking platform has been redesigned to a microservices-based architecture using Docker containers. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, service should be used for deployment of these new microservices? Options we have for this question are: API Gateway, Container Engine for Kubernetes, OC, Event Service, Artifact Registry, Streaming Service. Correct answer for this question is option 2, Container Engine for Kubernetes, known as OC, because in the question they are talking about microservices-based architect using containers means containerized application. So we will use Container Engine for Kubernetes for this deployment. Let's talk about this question. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, service leverages Terraform to configure infrastructure as code? Options we have for this question are: Oracle Container Engine for Kubernetes, OC, Resource Manager, Compartment Explorer, Compute, Events. Correct answer for this question is option 2, Resource Manager, because under Resource Manager only we configure Terraform, that is infrastructure as code technology. Let's talk about this question. You were recently assigned to manage a project to deploy Oracle E-Business Suite on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC. The application will require a database, several servers, and a shared file system. Which 3 OC services are best suited for this project? Options we have for this question are: OC, Virtual or Bare Metal, DB, Systems, Virtual Machine or Bare Metal Compute Instances, Oracle Container Engine for Kubernetes, File Storage Service, OC, Streaming Service, Object Storage Service. Correct answer for this question are option 1, OC, Virtual or Bare Metal, DB, Systems, option 2, Virtual Machine or Bare Metal Compute Instances, and option 4, File Storage Service, because option 1 will help for database creation, option 2 will help for creating several server, and option 4 will help for creating a shared file system. That is what needed as per requirement. Let's talk about this question, which is an open source system for automating deployment, scaling, and management of containerized applications. Options we have for this question are: Jenkins, Kubernetes, Terraform, Ansible, Docker. Correct answer for this question is option 2, which is Kubernetes, because Kubernetes is a portable, extensible, open source platform for managing containerized applications and services. Let's talk about this question, which is a valid syntax for an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Identity and Access Management, IAM, policy. Options we have for this question are: deny user _name to verb resource type in tenancy, deny group _name to verb resource type in tenancy, allow user _name to verb resource type in tenancy, allow group _name to verb resource type in tenancy. Correct answer for this question is option 4, starting with allow group, then we need to provide group name. Because if we will got through the OC policy syntax, then this is the only format correct out of 4 options given. Let's talk about this question. Which 3 are capabilities of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Data Catalog Service? Options we have for this question are: it provides a repository of searchable metadata, it has an accelerated library to quickly build analytics models, it enables enrichment of the metadata, it can automate harvesting of data, it is an alternative to autonomous data warehouse, it runs Spark jobs at scale. Correct answer for this question are option 1, it provides a repository of searchable metadata, option 3, it enables enrichment of the metadata, and option 4, it can automate harvesting of data, because OC, Data Catalog Service, works around metadata. Let's talk about this question. What is the primary use case for using Web Application Firewall on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC? Options we have for this question are network security control, filter malicious web traffic, hardware-based key storage, patch management. Correct answer for this question is option 2, filter malicious web traffic, because web application we use to filter unauthorized or malicious web traffic. Let's talk about this question. Which two statements are valid regarding Virtual Cloud Network, VCN, peering between two, VCN-S? Options we have for this question are peered, VCN-S can exist in different, OC, regions. Peered, VCN-S can exist in the same, OC, region. Peered, VCN-S need to be part of same, OC, tenancy. Peered, VCN-S can have overlapping, CIDR-S. A VCN, peering connection is a VPN-based connection. Correct answer for this question are option 1, peered, VCN-S can exist in different, OC, regions, and option 2, peered, VCN-S can exist in the same, OC, region, because these the only correct options. Rest are incorrect in terms of VCN, peering. Let's talk about this question. What is not a primary use case for the Oracle Cloud VMware solution? Options we have for this question are data center extension, Hyper-V workloads, disaster recovery, cloud migration. Correct answer for this question is option 2, Hyper-V workloads, because it is the only option from the list which is not a use case for the Oracle Cloud VMware solution. Let's talk about this question. You have a web application that receives 5x more traffic on the weekends than weekdays. You need to automatically match capacity to demand, keep the application always up and running, and save cost. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, compute feature can be used to meet these requirements? Options we have for this question are auto scaling, parallel scaling, vertical scaling, manual scaling. Correct answer for this question is option 1, auto scaling, because auto scaling lets you automatically adjust the number or the life cycle state of compute instances in an instance pool. Let's talk about this question. Which statement correctly describes Oracle Cloud Manageability SLA? Options we have for this question are services consistently perform as expected, 100% availability to manage resources, ability to manage, monitor, and modify, OC, resources. Services are in operation with uptime and connectivity requirements. Access to the console is guaranteed. Correct answer for this question is option 3, ability to manage, monitor, and modify, OC, resources, because these are the only capabilities comes under Oracle Cloud Manageability SLA. Let's talk about this question. You have backup data that needs to be stored for at least 6 months. This data is not supposed to be accessed frequently, but needs to be available immediately when needed. You also want to reduce your storage costs. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, object storage tier can be used to meet these requirements? Options we have for this question are auto tiering, standard tier, archive tier, infrequent access tier. Correct answer for this question is option 4, infrequent access tier, because in this option we can get data immediately when needed with low fee, but it will save huge storage cost. Let's talk about this question. Which two statements are true regarding Oracle Cloud Infrastructure regions? Options we have for this question are some regions provide multiple availability domains. Some regions provide a single fault domain. Some regions provide multiple subregions. Some regions provide a single availability domain. Some regions only provide test/dev environments. Correct answer for this question is option 1, some region provide multiple availability domains, and option 4, some regions provide a single availability domain. Remaining options in questions are not correct as per best of my knowledge. Let's talk about this question. Which two statements are true with regard to the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, logging service? Options we have for this question are: it enables you to monitor cloud resources using metrics and alarms. It can analyze critical diagnostic information that describes how resources are performing and being accessed. It can index, enrich, and aggregate log data from applications. It enables you to analyze cloud resources using custom metrics. It is a centralized single pane of glass for all logs in a tenancy. Correct answer for this question are option 2, it can analyze critical diagnostic information that describes how resources are performing and being accessed, and option 5, that is, it is a centralized single pane of glass for all logs in a tenancy. These are core properties of OC, logging service. Let's talk about this question, which is an important consideration when choosing an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure region. Options we have for this question are: choose the region that offers single availability domain for cost saving. Choose the region that is in close proximity to end users for best performance. Choose the region that is far away from application to eliminate single point of failure. Choose the region that offers the lowest cost. Correct answer for this question is option 2, choose the region that is in close proximity to end users for best performance, because when we need to provide best performance for any application, we should always choose nearest location from end users. Let's talk about this question: which two Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Virtual Cloud Network, VCN, firewall features can be used to control traffic? Options we have for this question are: network security groups, VCN flow logs, VNIC metrics, security lists. Correct answer for this question are option 1, network security group, and option 4, security list, because there are the only networking services components which provide firewall feature to control traffic for VCN. Let's talk about this question: which type of data transfer incur costs within Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC? Options we have for this question are: data transfer from one instance to another across different availability domains in a region, data egress to the internet, data ingress from the internet, data transfer from one instance to another within the same availability domain. Correct answer for this question is option 3, data egress to the internet, because rest other options data transfer is free in OC. Let's talk about this question: which feature of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Identity and Access Management, IAM, service specifies authorization for various actions for authenticated principals? Options for this question are: role, group, compartment, policy. Correct answer for this question is policy, because in policy only we specify the permission for authenticated principals. Let's talk about this question: which three are benefits of Oracle Cloud VMware solution? Options we have for this question are: VMware workloads are refactored for migration. Customers can leverage same set of tools and processes used on premises. Customers can choose their own data center hardware. Runs the certified VMware product stack in the cloud. Provides full administrative control to customers. Correct answer for this question are option 2, customers can leverage same set of tools and processes used on premises. Option 4, runs the certified VMware product stack in the cloud, and option 5, provides full administrative control to customers. So these are the benefits of Oracle Cloud VMware solution. Let's talk about this question: which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, monitoring service feature uses metrics for monitoring and consists of a trigger action and notification method? Options we have for this question are: namespaces, queries, triggers, alarms. Correct answer for this question is option 4, alarms, because monitoring service uses metrics to monitor resources and alarms to notify you when these metrics meet alarm specified triggers. Let's talk about this question: which is a valid syntax for an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Identity and Access Management, IAM, policy? Options we have for this question are: deny user underscore name to verb resource type in tenancy. Deny group underscore name to verb resource type in tenancy. Allow user underscore name to verb resource type in tenancy. Allow group underscore name to verb resource type in tenancy. Correct answer for this question is option 4th, starting with allow group, then we need to provide group name. Because if we will got through the OC policy syntax, then this is the only format correct out of 4 options given. Let's talk about this question. Your organization has a Spark application that sometimes consumes a large amount of compute resources. You need to run this on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC. Which OC service can be used to meet this requirement? Options we have for this question are file storage, data flow, data integration, data catalog. Correct answer for this question is option 2, data flow. If you have gone through the cheat sheet, I clearly mentioned that whenever there is Spark application in the question, it is part of data flow service. Let's talk about this question. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, service is not available as part of Oracle Cloud Free tier? Options we have for this question are, Exadata DB systems, Autonomous Data Warehouse, Monitoring, Compute. Correct answer for this question is option 1, Exadata DB system. It is mentioned in the Oracle Cloud Free tier services page. Other options can be used under free tier service, but we can't use Exadata DB systems. Let's talk about this question. Which 2 are valid targets for setting Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, budgets? Options we have for this question are, IAM, group, tenancy, budget tag, compartment, cost tracking tag. Solution. Correct answer for this question are option 4, compartment, and option 5, cost tracking tag, because these options we can use to set up budgets. Let's talk about this question. Which capability can be used to protect against unexpected hardware or power supply failures within an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure availability domain? Options we have for this question are top of rack switches, compartments, fault domains, power distribution units. Correct answer for this question is option 3, fault domains, because it is the only option from the list protect our environment against unexpected hardware or power supply failures. Let's talk about this question. Which pricing model is not supported by Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC? Options we have for this question are, annual universal credits, weekly universal credits, monthly universal credits, bring your own license, BYOL, pay as you go, PAYG. Correct answer for this question is option weekly universal credits, because other remaining options are valid. Let's talk about this question. Which OSI layer traffic is supported by the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, network load balancer? Options we have for this question are layer 2, data link, layer 7, application, layer 4, transport, layer 5, session. Correct answer for this question is layer 4, that is transport layer, as network load balancer is supported by transport layer. Let's talk about this question. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, capability allows you to set up alerts to notify you if a budget forecast is to be exceeded or spending surpasses a certain amount? Options we have for this question are, events, monitoring, cost analysis, budget. Correct answer for this question is option 4, budget, because it has the capability to monitor spendings and send alerts when it reach the threshold value which we set up. Let's talk about this question. Your IT team has created a web-based marketing site that needs to be protected against internet threats, including cross-site scripting, XSS, and SQL injection. Which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, security service should they use? Options we have for this question are Bastion, Web Application Firewall, Vulnerability Scanning, Vault. Solution. Correct answer for this question is option 2, Web Application Firewall, because cross-site scripting, XSS, and SQL injection are web-based threats which can be secured with the help of Web Application Firewall to protect against malicious traffic. Let's talk about this question: which Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, service allows you to run code without provisioning any underlying infrastructure resources, such as virtual machines? Options we have for this question are: Oracle Container Engine for Kubernetes, OC, API Gateway, Storage Gateway, Compute, Oracle Functions. Correct answer for this question is option 5, Oracle Functions, that only allow us to run code without any provisioning of underlying infrastructure. Let's talk about this question: which 3 services integrate with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Key Management? Options we have for this question are Object Storage, File Storage, Functions, Auto Scaling, Identity and Access Management, Block Volume. Correct answer for this question are option 1, Object Storage, option 2, File Storage, and option 6, Block Volume, because these are the only options from list which we can integrate with OC, Key Management. Let's talk about this question: which statement is not true about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, Block Volume Service? Options we have for this question are: you can decrease the size of a block volume, you can increase the size of a block volume, you can clone an existing block volume to a new, larger volume, you can expand an existing block volume in place with online resizing. Correct answer for this question is option 1, you can decrease the size of a block volume, because OC, block volume resizing feature doesn't allow decrement the size of a block volume. Let's talk about this question: which 2 statements are correct regarding Oracle Cloud Infrastructure fault domains? Options we have for this question are: fault domains are logical data center within regions. Fault domains are physical data centers with availability domains. Fault domains are used to mitigate hardware failures. Fault domains are physical data centers within regions. Fault domains are logical data centers with availability domains. Correct answer for this question are option 1, fault domains are logical data center within regions, and option 3, that is, fault domains are used to mitigate hardware failures. Because fault domains are the logical data center that lies in an availability domain that is inside region. In other words, it is a grouping of hardware and infrastructure within the availability domain. Fault domain helps in hardware maintenance or failure and adds one more layer of protection. Let's talk about this question: which 2 features can be used to manage cost in an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OC, tenancy? Options for this question are: compartment quotas, health checks, account controller, budgets, service logs. Correct answer for this question are options first, compartment quotas and budgets, because these features helps to manage cost in OC. So guys, that's it in this video. I hope the content from this video will help you to prepare for your exam, and hope it helped you to learn the correct information which is needed in terms of Oracle Cloud Services. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more videos.